What's up, LEGO builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios. Back in the glory days, LEGO used to give us chrome parts, sets, and even lightsaber hilts. But due to the fact that chrome parts were a pain, LEGO stopped, and sadly, the days of chromed LEGO came to an end. Which means we're probably never going to see sets like the Royal Naboo Starfighters or a chromed out Jar Jar bust. Which is unfortunate because I'm a big prequels fan and I would love to do a large scale Naboo mock someday, and you can't do Naboo without chrome. So I decided to take matters into my own hands.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
I'm going to be building Padmes Naboo Starship and attempting to chrome it out myself. But caution alert, I've never attempted something like this before, so it could end up being a dumpster fire. But either way, it should be a fun and entertaining challenge, so don't forget to execute order 66 on that like button, and let's get started. So, what's my game plan here? There are a few options available. The first is a place called Chrome Block City. They sell pre-chromed LEGO pieces, and from what I saw, they have just about everything. But you better hope you have more than a few Republic credits laying around because they aren't cheap. I priced out how much it would cost to build the ship, and it was a cool $500 US. And given the fact that this ship was less than 1,000 pieces, it's not even close to worth that price. So my next option is to build the ship with parts from my collection and have someone chrome it for me. There are people out there who will take LEGO builds and chrome the whole thing, but I would have to build it, then ship it there and back, plus the cost of getting it chromed. Now the third option would be to go full DIY and do everything myself. Build the ship, buy the primer and chrome spray paint, and then put my graffiti skills to the test and chrome out the ship. This felt like the best option for me, not only from a budget standpoint, but an entertainment one as well, because now you get to see the whole process, from me building and assembling the ship to me priming and chroming it. And I just feel like the more opportunity I have to mess up and do something weird, the better. So now that I have a game plan, it's time to get building. The last piece of the puzzle is the ship. I could take the time and design my own, but I'm no shipbuilding master. Plus, I came across a beautiful custom ship done by the talented builder Hachiroku24. It's the right size and detail level for what I'm planning, so I decided to just build his model. He was also kind enough to build the entire ship in his video, so I can recreate it pretty easily. Here's the thing, if I'm going to take the time to prime and chrome the ship, I want to make sure the build actually looks good, so I can display it and reuse it in future mocks, and there's no way I could design something better than this. Building like this is pretty tedious though, because there's no parts list or instructions, so I just have to look for bins and parts as I go through the steps of the build, which means that there's a lot of this. And a little of this. For how detailed and sleek Hachiroku24's build is, it's super easy to build, no crazy parts or techniques, just a simple masterpiece. It even has a full interior and retractable landing gear, which is a nice touch. The build is very modular and comes together in small sections, so there was a lot of building individual components like side panels, fins, and nose cones. Then once all those were built, I could assemble the ship. There was a moment of panic when I came across a knockoff LEGO plate in the build, but I handled it with professionalism. Make sure to head over to Hachiroku24's YouTube channel if you want to see more of his incredible builds. Because I'm going to prime and chrome the ship, it doesn't really matter what color of parts I use, but I am sticking with mostly light bluish gray stuff since I have a ton left over from my Coruscant mock. One of my favorite techniques he uses is using headlight bricks to allow him to stick the side panels on upside down. That way the ship looks smooth and mostly studless from the top and bottom. That's really important since one of the most iconic features of Nubian starships are their sleek, seamless designs. So not having the undersides of a lot of bricks exposed is really important. You may be wondering, why build this ship? Why not the bigger, more recognizable one from episode 1 we see jetting around the galaxy? Well, a couple of reasons. First, this one is smaller and felt like a much more manageable project since I have no idea how the painting process will go, and it could end up ruining all the parts. So since this ship is much smaller, that'll mean less destroyed LEGO. The second reason is other people have already chromed the episode 1 ship. And don't get me wrong, it looks super cool, but well, it's already been done at that point, and I like pushing myself to build what hasn't been done before. Plus, this being a smaller ship, it'll be easier to fit into mocks. Honestly, the finished ship already looks good enough to make even the coolest Naboo mock better, but we're not stopping here. I'm using this black paint primer first because it will help the surface of the ship become more adhesive and make the paint stick to it better and longer. This is especially important when working with smooth plastic surfaces like LEGO bricks, and I want to prevent as much scratching and peeling as possible. That's one of the big reasons why LEGO stopped making chrome parts in the first place. As any LEGO fan who has owned chrome parts knows, they scratch and peel so easily. Let's take a look at this bad boy. So, as far as I know, everything has gone very smoothly with the priming. It looks great. It dried pretty quickly. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty even, solid coat, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to touch it too much. I don't want to get like fingerprints. You can see I already got something there. Who knows? I may need to like touch it up a little bit, but so far everything's looking good. I was even able to get in between the studs well, and yeah, I'm ready for the chrome. I am going to wait until tomorrow to chrome it just because it's pitch black and getting pretty cold out. Plus, I just want to give this plenty of time to dry and set, but that was a pretty easy process. The only thing I'm worried about now is like how exactly I'm going to go about chroming it, because as you guys saw, I flipped it upside down to chrome the bottom or to seal the bottom, and I don't really care about doing that. I didn't really care about doing that with the primer, because if this got messed up just a little bit, wouldn't matter, it'd be covered anyways. The chrome's going to be the final layer, and so I want it to all look good. So I think what I'm going to do is actually start with the bottom tomorrow, and then I'm going to unfold the landing gear, and then I'm going to set it on the landing gear and then chrome the top of it, because I don't care if the very little bottom piece of the landing gear is not chromed. Anyways, that's where we're at, and tomorrow we're going to come back and finish this. This last step is the most nerve-wracking, because up until this point I could redo anything I mess up on, and even the primer coat wasn't a big deal because it's all covered up, but this is the chrome coat, the final step that will decide whether or not this video is a success. I immediately saw that this was going to be nice and shiny and not dull, which was a relief, and I just took my time and went slow. This is definitely not a good time of year to be chroming something outside, but I got lucky, and today was sunny and fairly warm. While we wait for the ship to dry, I'm going to build a little diorama to display it. And what better place to build than the famous Theed hangar on Naboo? You know me, I'm always trying to work a Naboo mock into my videos, plus I figured the other option would be a landing pad on Coruscant, and I doubt anyone wants to see that right now. I went with an extra fancy frame that has a step in it since, this isn't some common battle or patrol mock, this is the royal entourage on the move. Tan is the main color used when building Theed. Unfortunately, that's one of the weaker colors in my parts collection. So weak, in fact, I don't even have enough to build this hangar wall, so you know what time it is. It's dark tan time.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
But if you look closely at the walls and pillars, they're pretty dark, so I still see dark tan as a viable option, especially for these back walls. In between, I'm going to add these dark bluish gray slabs. This may look like a pretty simple mock, and well, that's because it is. I just need something to display the ship for the video. I have a much more permanent and cool display space coming for the ship later. That being said, I don't want to take an L with the build, so I'm going to try and add as many recognizable features as I can, and for how many times I've built Naboo in the past, this is only the third time I've ever done Theed. I think I should have just enough tan to make the pillars, which is good because this mock needs a little color contrast, and the tan pillars will better sell this as Theed hanger. If this whole chroming process works out, I definitely want to try my hands at making some chromed out Naboo starfighters. That way I won't have to sell my soul to buy Lego's version. The last thing to do is tile off the floor. It looks like it's the classic dark bluish gray and light bluish gray combo with light bluish gray strips running out from the walls to the middle where these light bluish gray squares are. I'm obviously not going to build the whole thing, so pretend the ship is tucked away off to the side. I decided to flex a little and put my Queen Amidala minifig in the build. I know this isn't the ship she flies in with that outfit, but I figured this ship deserves the best I had to offer minifig wise. I also have a royal handmaiden to watch over her on the journey. I don't even know what to say other than, dang, look at that. There's a reason this is one of the most iconic ships of the prequels. When done right, it literally looks like a metallic jewel. My biggest concern was that the chrome wouldn't be super shiny and I would get more of a dull metallic finished look, but this is as shiny as it gets. I let it dry overnight and I can handle it easily. There's no smearing or fingerprints left behind, although I don't want to push my luck, so I'm going to handle it as little as possible. I think the rear of the ship is my favorite part, with the wings and fin as well as the detailing around the middle. And the fact that this has working landing gear, a boarding ramp, as well as a ship accurate interior with multiple seats is just icing on the cake. Hachiroku 24 absolutely crushed it with this build. There are a few minor imperfections on the body, but that doesn't really bother me, especially considering this was my first time doing this, so we'll just pretend that's scoring and damage from flying around the galaxy. This project was a smashing success. I had no idea how the chrome would turn out, and the ship is even shinier than I thought it would be. This is good news, not just for this video, but for future projects as well, because now I have a cheap and reliable way to get that precious chrome Lego. I also had a lot of fun tackling a building challenge that wasn't just another clone battle. As much as I love the Clone Wars, building mocks for clones and droids to shoot each other on gets old after a while, so if you have any non-Clone Wars builds you would like to see me take on next, drop them down below in the comments, and while you're at it, don't forget to let me know what you thought about the ship. But that wraps up this video, and I will catch you in the next one, but until then, happy building.